todos los comentarios, te pierdes.
Ah, sí, sí, todo sí, será. Pero, por ejemplo, yo cuando empecé a dar clases de.
Tenemos 5 minutos.
Okay. Cuando empecé a. When I started to practice a little, to do some virtual classes, I used to do the same thing. So once I. Good evening, everyone. My name is Soliman. Today we're gonna teach Circle 4, and today's lesson is a little bit about interculture. So, first of all, my name is Mahmoud Soliman. I'm from Egypt, and I will be teaching this class for you today, okay? So, before we start, we're gonna speak a little bit about the concept that we have about interculture. So I'm gonna start about my country. So like I said, I'm from Egypt. So I wanna ask you in the beginning, what do you know about Egypt? What image it show up in your mind once I speak about Egypt. So this is my first question for you to get started. So I want to ask you in the beginning, what do you think about Egypt? What image do you have in your mind about Egypt? This part of interculture. Interculture, actually, it's a little bit how can we describe a little bit the other person, the other culture, the other country. So this is the interculture concept in general. So I want to ask you, each one of you, how are you first? And then try to describe Egypt in just one word, and let me know about this word. So once you get started, I will just try to write down which adjectives, which word could you describe Egypt by those kind of words. So I will be listening, and you try to think about Egypt and try to tell me what is the first word it come up in your mind. So this is my first question for you, and I'm waiting for your answers to say what we're gonna describe a little bit about my country. So before I come to Colombia, I will tell you a little bit about my experience, because I had the same thing actually. Because interculture is not just about different culture, it's about the same, it could be in the same country. For example, if you could ask someone who lives in Bogota, for example, about what do you think about the coast? What do you think about Cartagena? What do you think about the people in Cali, in a different city in Bogota? This kind of aspects that we have, sometimes we don't know a lot of information about different places, and this sometimes makes some misconception about misunderstanding sometimes actually about different peoples. So before I came here, actually my family was a little bit worried about my trip to Bogota. They told me that why Bogota, why Colombia, why decided to travel to Colombia? It's a little bit dangerous because they don't know a lot about Colombia. That's why they a little bit afraid of something that they don't know. So I just want to make sure that you're understanding me in the beginning. So I'm going to ask you, if you're understanding me, just try to send some comments to make sure that you understand what I'm saying right now. So send me please some of your answers about if you understand or not. So what do you think about Egypt? So first of all, do you understanding me in the beginning, and then we're gonna see if we're gonna have a little bit of discussion about those two different countries, about Colombia and Egypt, and what is the difference between those two cultures. So I am waiting for your answers. So
Soliman, I have one student question, and they ask if you know the soccer player. What's the name?
Salah.
Yes.
Yeah, wow,
one.
of course. Yeah, who asked this one?
Let's see. It was.
Yeah, whatever. I will say.
Maria Gabriela.
Maria, thank you, Maria. Yeah, of course I love Mo Salah. Actually, we don't say Mo Salah because we say Mohammed Salah. This is the correct way to pronounce his name. So his name is Mohammed Salah, and he is one of the best players in the world. Of course, you know that. And I'm a big fan of Liverpool. So do you love Liverpool? Let me know if you're interested in football and if you like the Premier League. So let me know about this part, because this also is part of the interculture. Because speaking about England and football, everything is culture, everything is interculture. So I'm gonna say it again, try to make sure that you're understanding me. If you don't, please send to me that you don't understand, so I can change a little bit of my discourse to make sure that you can understand. Because I know this is cycle 4, so it's a little bit difficult for you. So I just want to make sure that you can understand. So no rush to be speaking about any different thing. Just make sure that you can understand a little bit what I am saying. So send me your comments, and I'll be waiting for your comments. Any more comments?
Yeah. So Jamie Gonzalez say that I only know that there are a lot of pyramids and sand.
Yeah, of course. What is her name again?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy, actually, this is kind of a little bit sad. Because once I tell you, yeah, I'm from Egypt, the first thing that show up in your mind always is pyramids, or desert, or camel. Actually, do you know those kind of camels? But actually, no. Egypt is more than that. Yeah, but actually, we love pyramids, but it's not all Egypt. It's just a small part of Egypt. So yeah, Egypt is very, very nice country to visit, and we have a lot of different cities actually and different culture inside the same country like Egypt. For example, the north is totally different than the south, because in the south you could find those kind of pharaohs and temples and everything about this civilization. But in Cairo, you could say in the center, it's a little bit like any other capital in the world. It's a little bit busy and traffic, a lot of traffic jam. And if you go to the north, it's a little bit cold, because do you know Alexandria? Alexandria is a very nice city. It's located in the coast, in the north coast of Egypt. So it's very, very nice. Let me draw the map of Egypt, and then let's see if you can. Let's see, this is a little bit Mediterranean. See? And then we have here, yeah, it's kind of. So this is Egypt. So we can say this is Egypt. This is the Mediterranean Sea. Of course you know it, Mediterranean Sea. And this is the Red Sea. This is the Red Sea. So you could find here pyramids. We have it like this. So this is the pyramids. So you could find a camel here, maybe. I'm not sure how to draw a camel. It's kind of this thing. I'm not good in drawing, but I'm just trying to. This could be a horse, it could be a camel, I don't know. So this is in this place you could find Cairo. And actually, the pyramids, it's not in Cairo. It's a small city called Giza. So pyramids located in Giza, and Cairo is just like this in this place. And then we have a Nile River, and it crosses all Egypt. This is the Nile River. And here you could find Alexandria. It's a very nice city. Like I said, it's a little bit cold, but it's very, very nice city. And here you could find the different cities like Luxor, like Aswan. And here you could find more temples, more stuff about the pharaoh civilization. So you could find a lot of different things in those parts. But in the south it's a little bit warm, so it's very, very hot.
Teacher,
yes, another question.
I have one student that say, Maria said that you're a great drawer.
No, I'm not. She's laughing on me. No, Maria.
Jimmy asked about Alexandria.
Yeah.
Because he thinks it's probably some city very important for history.
Yeah, of course. Alexandria is actually one of the most important city in the world. You know, some of the most important place in Alexandria you could find library. The Library of Alexandria is one of the biggest library in the world. And you could find a lot of original books and many different stuff there. Alexandria is a little bit cold, but just in winter. Because in summer it's okay, a lot of people there. So it's a little bit cold just in winter. Because as you know, in Egypt we have seasons. It's not like Colombia. Colombia we just have one season the whole year. And this is a little bit, sometimes it's a little bit boring, but not all the time. So what do you think about different countries, like the big difference? What do you think it could be the big difference between the Egyptian culture and the Colombian culture? What do you think about food? The big difference in food between Egypt and Colombia. So tell me a little bit about food. What is your favorite food? What do you think it could be traditional food in Egypt? It could be, do you have any ideas about the traditional food in Egypt? Any kind of those aspects? Have you heard anything about Egypt, about culture, about people? So let me know those kind of questions, because sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes we know some information, but it's totally wrong. That's why we're going to have this opportunity to correct those conceptions, concept that we have about Egypt or any different country. So let me know, please, if you have any kind of comments or question about Egypt. But you didn't answer me if you understand, totally understanding, or it's a little bit difficult for you.
I asked it,
Yes.
I also asked this question, but Maria also asked if is in Egypt, is there like snow?
Well, this is a good question, but yeah, no, we don't have snow. But sometimes we have, Sinai. It's a little bit in this place, if I'm not wrong. So in this place, do you remember Sinai and Moses and this history in Bible? So Sinai in this place, and in this place has a lot of mountains. So in this place we have a lot of mountains, and sometimes in winter, just in winter, we have here some snow, but it's not like a big deal. I mean, it's okay, just snow a little bit, but it's not all the time. Just a few days on winter, and that's it. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, someone. Let's see who is. Jimmy asked if you have like a bandeja paisa
In
Egypt. And I don't know if everyone is understanding through the class because I don't get many questions.
Let's switch a little bit in Spanish. Can we make this clear? If you understand, please try to send a message, try to leave comments about if you understand, and if you understand how percentage that you understand. For example, if you understand my discourse 10%, 20%, 50%, 80%, so please just let me know if you're understanding what I'm saying right now before we start, because I can change a little bit my discourse to make sure that you can understand. So let me know, please, in the comments, send some feedback a little bit if you understand or not. So while you answer those questions, I'm gonna answer the question of Jamie. Jamie asked about bandeja paisa. Actually, Jamie, we have a little bit, how we can say it, it's a little bit different in terms of foods. Because in Egypt, we don't eat any kind of pork. Do you know what does pork mean? Pork. So I'm gonna let it written down. No. Pork. Do you know what does pork mean? So we don't eat any kind of pork because pork is forbidden for us. Because the majority in Egypt are Muslims, and Muslims don't eat any pork. Any kind of pork. That's why we can't eat bandeja paisa, because bandeja paisa has chicharrón, I believe. It has, what else it has? Chicharrón, and the other thing, chorizo, and both have pork. So that's why we can't eat bandeja paisa in Egypt. But we eat beans, we eat rice normally, and we eat eggs as well. So it's okay for us to eat bandeja paisa, but without chicharrón and without chorizo. So, do you know how to say chorizo in English? No? So I will let you know. Chorizo? No. How to say it in Spanish? So in English is sausage, a little bit. Sausage.
Sorry, Camila is asking what's un plato típico
in Egypt. Okay, very good, very nice, Camila. Camila, we have. Okay, Camila, in Egypt we have a lot of traditional dishes. My favorite one called koshari. Koshari. You could Google it. Koshari. This is cool. I believe we write it like this. Koshari. This is an U. Koshari. Koshari is a traditional dish, and actually it's a vegetarian dish. I used to be vegetarian actually for 8 years. So koshari is just a traditional dish that we have in Egypt, and it has pasta. It has 3 kinds of pasta actually. It has rice, lentils. It has tomato sauce, has some chicken peas, I believe. So it has a lot of different things, but it's very, very delicious. So this is one of my favorite dishes actually in Egypt, traditional ones. And also we have something like it's called bread, our bread. And I love it because sometimes in Egypt you don't have to eat rice. Like in Colombia, for example, in Colombia lunch always was rice. But in Egypt it's a little bit different. Yeah, we don't eat that much of rice. Yes? Another one? No more questions? Okay. So, yeah, I want to learn a little bit about your traditional dishes. So, try to let me know about your favorite food in Colombia and which part of, for example, if you're from Cali, let me know a little bit about traditional food in Cali. If you're from Cartagena, you're from Medellin, let me know what is the traditional food in your city, and let me know a little bit about your favorite food as well, because food as well is one of the most important aspects in interculture. Yes, so let me know please about your favorite food, and let me know a little bit about the traditional food in your city, in your original city. So there is a lot of no more comments. Good. So let's speak a little bit about music, because music as well is part of interculture. So what is your favorite music? Let me know as well. And in Egypt, actually we love, traditional kind. Have you learned a little bit about belly dance? Have you heard a little bit about, in Spanish you say dance árabe? Have you already heard a little bit of this kind of music? So the music in Egypt, the concept of music in Egypt is a little bit, you could say complicated, because you could find a different type or different kind of music. You could find in this part actually they have a different accent. So they could be enjoying different kind of music. In the north actually as well, Alexandria, you could find the same thing. The culture make the music aspects, it's a little bit different than the capital in Egypt. The capital, Cairo, you could find all kind of music, because people, the capital city. So in the capital city you can find people from any different other place, in every other city. So that's why in Cairo you can define anything. In the south, yeah, I believe they have a traditional kind of music, and they use a lot of anun. Anun is an instrument. It's a little bit similar to guitarra. So it's a little bit similar to guitar, but it's kind of different. So in the south, they used to use this kind of instrument and the music as well. In this part, you could find a different kind of music as well. So it's a little bit, we have a lot of variety in Egypt. Yeah, questions?
Yeah, I got one question.
One last question.
I have one question. So Maria asked if you like meat.
No. Well, personally, I don't like meats. Any kind of meats.
And also ask, one Felipe said that his favorite music is electronic.
Wow, very good, very nice. What else?
Let me see if anyone wants to say something else.
So let's get those questions, and then you can let me know if we have more. So Maria, about the meats, I don't like meat, but this is something like personally. So I don't like meats because I don't like it. I don't know why, but I don't like it. So like I said before, I used to be a vegetarian for 8 years, so I don't like meats at all. I just love vegetables and this kind of stuff. So I would be very happy eating just fruits and vegetables. And the other thing about electronic music, this is very, very, very nice. In Egypt, we love electronic music, and the majority of parties actually in Egypt, always electronic music. It's always present there. So that was the class today. I hope I a little bit get some of those questions, and see you next class, guys, and have a good day. Bye bye.